All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:39 in the morning of December 8th, 2021, and this is my pre-market strategy session. And so the first thing that I have up today is EFOI. Now, EFOI is a small cap that has just launched a Nuvo virus targeted UVC air disinfector to the public. Okay, interesting. And if you go and look at the financials here, it's kind of interesting. Here we have in 2016, it did 31 million in revenues, and it looks to me kind of like revenues have kind of looked like they're starting to try and bottom out now. Two data points don't make a trend. So, if you look at it quarterly, it's kind of strange. The quarterly is a smaller version of the annual. It's kind of neat how that happens, huh? Sort of a similar set there. And so it's interesting, if this is something that's going to boost revenues and earnings and so on and so on, then it'll be worth an investment at some later point after this big news kind of settles down. And what I've noticed recently with small cap momentum trades is, let's go, I'm going to open up another chart here. And let's go to, is that Cpix? Cpix? This is one that I recently made some decent money on. But if you look here, I'm guessing that this is going to be rather similar to what EFOI or any small cap for the foreseeable future, how it works. So here, on the first day that Cpix, pardon me, came out with the news that it has an FDA approval, I believe it was, Cumberland Pharmaceuticals Incorporated says received a formal notice from the SBA that full amount of loan, no, that's not right. Where's the FDA approval? Let's see, what date was that? 30th of November. Where did that go? 29. Oh, here we go. Cumberland Pharmaceuticals gets expanded labeling approval from FDA for Caldolor. And so here it traded on the 30th of November, 207 million shares, right? And the total price range on this stock on that day was a whopping from very bottom to the very top, $1.45. And it traded 200 plus million shares. If you ever see, in normal circumstances, I don't know what's happened in the past 18 months or so with small cap momentum, but if you ever see a stock in past history, at least, let's say 3 years ago, if you saw a stock that traded 200 million shares, I don't care if it's a small cap, a medium cap, or a large, so some large caps even large caps, 200 million shares, all right, so the S&P, let's look at the SPY real quick. Let's compare it to the SPY here real quick. So the SPY is one of the most heavily traded ETFs on the market. And let's see, yesterday, the SPY made a move from bottom to top of $10.23, a 2.23% move for the SPY. And that was on volume of 95 million shares, right? Here's the SPY going from top to bottom. That's a huge 464 high down to 450. That's $14 easily, a $14 move on the SPY. This is one of the most traded ETFs in the world. And it had 132 million shares traded that day. Now here we are with Cpix, right? And it's trading 207 million shares and only has a range of $1.45. If you ever see something trade with 200 million shares in one day, I would expect, as of 3 years ago, I would expect to see that price either rocketing significantly higher. When I'm talking significant, I mean 200-300% higher. On a small cap with a float, the total common shares outstanding on this are 14.85 million shares. And the float on CPIX, I've forgotten what the float is. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if it's popping up in my small cap scanner this morning. CPIX, are you there? Don't see it. Don't see it. CPIX. Where is your float? Well, so the float is, let's say it's 10 million shares. It's just incredible. It's just, so I imagine what's going to happen today is something quite similar. Pre-market, EFOI has already traded 10 million shares pre-market. And so today, will it give a setup? I think it will give a setup today, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough setup. So CPIX, I did well on CPIX on, that was the 30th of November. So let's go check out the 30th of November here. Let's see, there's the 6th. Here's the 30th of November. And you can see here, I bought the open. It dipped down at the open and I bought it as it was moving back up. I got a good fill on it. And then I let it go up here after this run. But this is not a clean and easy run. And if we look at it on the 1 minute, 30th of November back here, let's see. Look at that 1 minute. That is super noisy. That is incredibly noisy for a momentum play. That is an incredibly noisy chart. That's not momentum at all. That's not momentum. So here's a break right here, right? Over 448 on this candle right here. And what the break only went up to as high as 466, not even a 20-cent break. And then it got super noisy, and then it fell back down again, and then finally it was allowed to run. Just small cap momentum, the entries on small cap momentum these days, they're just, I don't want to say they're impossible, but they are extremely difficult. And they are, whatever happened on Wall Street, I don't know quite what it was. I don't know quite what it is, but somebody has just turned on the noise factor for small cap momentum plays to where they're just unpredictable and extremely difficult to trade. Let's see, what's the ISPC here? ISPC. I think ISPC actually did give some pretty decent momentum setups on the first day. Let's find where the first day is here. Oh no! Oh yeah! Look at this. Look at that. Just extremely. This is the day it announced it had won a government contract for I've forgotten what, but it was enough to essentially match their quarterly revenues, whatever the contract was. It was either close or matching to a single quarter in revenues, which is really quite promising. Yeah, this stock just, look at the volume on this was 100 million shares on this volume, and it made a whopping, $4.71 move. Okay, that's actually respectable. This scale kind of throws me off a bit. And then here on the second day of trading, $7.30 range. But if we go back and we look at the one, I like to use the 1 minute for momentum setups. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is on the first day. Of trading. The first day after it got the news, and just extremely noisy, extremely choppy, noisy, crappy, no setups. There is no setup in there. There's not one setup exists in this chart anywhere. And then let's see, the next day it traded, lame. I think just lame. The next day it traded here, and then post-market it decided, and then pre-market decided to run up, and then again there are like the $18.50 mark is from a previous high a while back, but still this is so here this is actually a decent setup here, but most people by the time 10:30 rolls around or the afternoon starts to roll around, most people aren't looking for momentum setups anymore. Momentum is the opening bell, first hour and a half of the opening bell. But this was actually a pretty decent setup right here. I don't remember if I played it or not. I don't think I made any money on ISPC. In fact, I think I lost money on ISPC. I did manage to keep my share size low, so it wasn't like a horribly punishing. Oh no, you know what? All in total, I've made money on ISPC, and it was because of this day right here. I caught this thing after it was gapping up. Yeah, here on this day over 1955, I got into a position and rode it up pretty high. I think I sold on this candle right here, and I sold it somewhere close to the low of that candle. So I made like $5 a share on it, and so I did wind up profitable on the name, but it was not the day. Like I'd expect all these moves to occur prior to the past year and a half, however long it's been. I'd really expect to see the entirety of this move to be made in one day rather than all this choppy craziness. And I guess there have been people who have complained to the exchanges enough to cause the brokerages or the market makers to just create too much hectic noise around these small cap momentum names for for anybody to be able to trade them sort of in the legacy manner of trading a small cap momentum name, which is the small cap momentum rules. If you know them, you know them. If you don't, you don't. So here this morning on EFOI, what I did was this Fibonacci right here is based on a doubling of its previous close. So its previous close was at $1.97, and a double of that is $3.94. And you can see the stock price is doing a pretty good job of using these Fibonacci levels to create breakouts and find support and so forth. I would have liked to have traded this pre-market, but I missed this break right here. And really, that was my best entry. That was the best entry for the morning. And I don't want to, like, if I get into a trade outside of the break of this 50% level right here, then I'll be compromising my strategy. And you got to stick with your strategy. That's just the way it goes. So we'll see what happens today after it opens. I'll be looking for the 1 minute setups on this, and I'll use the Fibonacci's as a guide. So we'll see how it happens. LEXX. So I did the same thing on LEXX this morning. I took the previous close. Let's see. The news on LEXX is LEXX rises after cannabis-based formulation shows promising results in study. Okay, here we go. Let's see. LEXX's dihydra tech TM's CBD reduces arterial stiffness. Results confirmed in human clinical study, Hyper H21-2. Results suggest broader applications for their drug, dihydra tech, something like that, beyond hypertension. A global innovator in drug delivery platforms is pleased to issue follow-up results from human clinical study confirming that their drug, processed cannabinoid CBD, reduces arterial stiffness, potentially broadening its application to treatment of cardiovascular and other disease states beyond hypertension, where it has already shown tremendous promise. Okay. So, this morning I put the Fibonacci on it. It hit the, and the Fibonacci that I used was the doubling of the previous close. So it's 492 was its previous close, and that puts 984 as the double. And you can see here, it hit 50% and then just got rejected. And now it's coming down quite significantly from that level. I don't see a trade here. That doesn't mean one can't develop. It's possible, but not likely, in my opinion. All right, so then next up, we have VRPX, and I did the same thing again here with the Fibonacci, and you can see it didn't even make it to the 25% level and has fallen back down to basically its previous close. VRPX, I mean, it has decent news. I mean, I've seen news like this trade before. Let's see, Vrpx Pharmaceuticals says clinical trials showed transdermal pain management candidate Epiderm well tolerated. I mean, I've seen drugs and drug companies trade, significantly on very similar news, but for whatever reason today VRPX just isn't getting a bid. So, who knows? Who knows what the reason is? But yeah, okay. So let's see. Go to the broader market here. SPY. Let's bring it down. I haven't even opened them up yet. So here's the SPY. Let's go to the indicators that I like to use. And the main one that I pay attention to is the VIX. I'll pay attention to the add and the tick in the middle of the, after the bell. But the VIX is the first thing that I look at prior to the morning. That's the main one. That's the main indicator that I look at. And then crypto. Okay. So if the SPY opened up right now, it opened up 0.13% higher than its previous close. You can see here, the SPY's put in a phenomenal move here. I actually let go of some options a bit too early. There was quite a bit more upside to the SPY. Nobody's perfect. Nobody catches the bottom. I did get into options positions really close to the bottom down here, strikes of 462, expiration of the 17th of December. And I did catch a large portion of this move. I definitely could have left it in longer. So that's life, c'est la vie. Oh, by the way, this tail candle right here, this tail candle is shenanigans. The price yesterday, I don't think it went anywhere near this level. Let's see, it says the low is 458, but yesterday the SPY did not trade down into that area. It gapped up higher and basically went higher for the rest of the day. Let's look at this. So that tail candle is kind of shenanigans. It's covering up. Yeah, here we go. Look, oops. So yesterday, let me get rid of that. So yesterday, the open on the SPY was right here at 464.35, and it just went up for almost the rest of the day. It dipped down close to the close here, and then had an end of the day last 10-minute rally to get it back to basically where it hung out all day. So that tail candle that's on the daily, that's shenanigans. So if people look at this, they'll think, oh, it closed the gap. That's not true. It didn't actually close the gap yesterday. It's extreme. If it had dropped down to this point right here and then run all the way back up again to its close, that's yesterday's close, that would have been so bullish. It would have been like, there's no reason to think of even going short at all after a move like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But that tail candle, that's shenanigans. All right. So the VIX is breaking down beautifully. I imagine that we'll probably in this breakdown right here, it's going to be a bounce, and everybody's going to get scared again, and it'll come back down again, kind of thing. The VIX is breaking down, and it's breaking down. I've got these levels. This red line right here is a trend, and so it recently broke through that trend line, that downward trend line. No big deal. This 2476 level is just a level that I've seen the VIX kind of bump up against often. So a close above or a close below, or a rise above and a rise below, it's significant at that level. Then the top dotted white line is the top of the gap from the gap that was put in March of 2020, and the bottom of the gap is from the gap, of course, from March 20 or February 2020, after everything started to crash from the COVID lockdowns. And so it's going to make its way. Here's the bottom. I'm looking for the VIX to break down below this red line right here, retest, and continue lower to get really, really bullish on the broader market. Okay, and then last up here we've got Bitcoin. Bitcoin, boy, yesterday I was saying, or the day before, Monday or Tuesday, I was saying that I'm neutral to bear or neutral to bullish. Now I've actually got to change that. I'm just plain neutral until Bitcoin breaks up above 53,000, roughly right here, retests and moves on. The Bitcoin is going to be neutral. The pattern here, yeah, until Bitcoin can break back above 53,000, hold it, and then continue on, Bitcoin is going to be neutral. And it looks to me like it's probably going to be range bound between 53,000 and 42,000 for a while. I don't know how long, but for a while. Could be in the next year. All right. That is my morning strategy session. Good luck out there. Keep your wrists tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you at the recap. I am out.